Hello, guys, and welcome back to the LFC transfer room for another Transfer Central. Big one today. Obviously, big Dom Szoboszlai has joined. So it's a great one. Went live earlier today, discussed it a little bit after the stream. If you haven't, make sure you go and watch that. It's only a short one, but joined by three lovely gentlemen today. Kev with the amazing shirt. I'll start with you. How are you doing today? Good
All
day,
good,
isn't it?
mate. All good, mate. Dom has made Sunday even more better than it was. So I'm in a good place at the minute, mate.
Yeah, and FJ, it's Szoboszlai. Do you know what? I've been mastering the word all day, but when I'm live, it escapes me. How are you feeling about Szoboszlai signing?
I'm like, that's the second signing in. We need the number 3 now. But yeah, he's made it easier for all the Liverpool fans knowing that we're still in the market trying to improve our midfield. We're gonna deep dive more into him, but yeah, well, he's making our weekend better. He's making our weekend even better.
Definitely. And Colin, it's new number 8. Hopefully, works out better than the last one. But how you feeling, mate?
Just gotta keep him fit. Good lord, poor Nabby. Anytime he'd get his toe stepped on, he was out for a month. Yeah, thrilled. Could not be happier at the moment. Hopefully, we were discussing earlier. Hopefully, more big things to come in July.
Yeah, definitely. Quick breakdown of what we're going to be talking about today. We'll start with a bit of Szoboszlai chat. Then we'll go into a bit of Ibrahima Konate rumours with Kelleher, and also the big one, Romeo Lavia. But guys, there's about 30 people in here, so make sure you do leave a like to the video. Hello to everybody joining. Jen, Olu, J Muse, everybody else. If you're lurking, get them comments and we'll try and read out as many as possible. But we're going to start with Dom Szoboszlai. We've been talking about him for pretty much, I feel like, the last 4 or 5 streams. I think we've got everything we can say out about him at this moment. But Kev, I'll start with you. Sum up how you feel, mate. We finally, a few people mentioned in the previous stream earlier this afternoon, we finally got our Genie Wijnaldum replacement. I see it as we finally got an actual baller to play at right centre mid who isn't Henderson. But whatever way you look at it, it's a massive upgrade, isn't it?
It's a massive upgrade. It's also a massive upgrade on a box-to-box play that we had in Cater as well. So there's a lot of versatility there. You got the Wijnaldum because he will be at the start of that press, which is where Wijnaldum would usually be for us. We finally recognised that we've got a player that can play there. We've also got a player that when Salah goes to the AFCON, you got someone who can fit into his role perfectly for me. You've got another creative player that is explosive. Not the quickest. He's in the top 30 in the Bundesliga for his pace, but it's mainly his first couple of yards where the sprints are. Similar to what Thiago was in the Bundesliga as well. Someone who's quick on the ball, doesn't mind getting the ball in certain positions, and he's got a belter of a shot on him. And we are going to see some worldies next season and some goals of the season. But you can't ask for more than what we've got. We've got a player that will fit in to the Klopp style of play. You've got a pressing from the top, box to box engine on him, and under the guide of Klopp, you're going to get an upgrade that is just going to be unbelievable, and the potential for him is it can go to world class if he listens and learns from and listens to what Klopp tells him. It'll be unbelievable what a player he'll be for us, and it's going to be great, honestly.
Yeah, FJ, I think this is the first we're hearing about Szoboszlai. So give us your thoughts on him, mate. We've pretty much spoken to everybody else, so let us know. Give us your high energy review of Szoboszlai signing for Liverpool.
Guys, this is a great signing. What? International captain at this young age already. And he is a Klopp player. We've signed a pressing machine. Plus, he's a creativity. His creativity level is crazy. I heard someone say he's basically a KDB. He's going to be our KDB. His crosses, his vision. And you see when in the midfield, you need brains. So everyone's like, even his passing technique, the way he passes the ball, the timing, all these stuff come into play. And already he's a club player. So that's even better. So the pressing, the start from the press. And the thing about it, he's our number
8.
Our last number 8, he didn't work out for us. Our last number 8 didn't work out. Naby, I love Naby. I like Naby. He's got one of the best deport. I like Naby, but it didn't work out, you know. But the number 8 before that was our best number. Hopefully, he can do at least better than Naby. Surely he can do better than Naby. But he's a beautiful player, you know. I saw the worldie he's shooting. He got a great shot. I'm excited for this. I am excited. Hendo, Captain Fantastic. Oh, but I think that he's going to take his position, you know. I think he's taking but I'm happy. I'm happy with this. Surprised, 60 million. We'll talk about that after. What do you not think about 60 million? 60 million, is that a lot? Is that all right? Is that too much? I don't know. We'll find out, hopefully. But if Mason Mount can go for that much, surely this is a good bargain. This is a great signing. I'm excited. Number 8. Oh, yeah. Get this. McAllister. Next to McAllister, we got Szoboszlai. What? One creative, one up and down. Oh, no, this is beautiful. I can imagine.
I said the other day on a stream that I think that Szoboszlai is getting better numbers than Fernandes in his first season.
And Bruno.
Bruno.
Charlie, okay, let's stop this. Let's pause this.
Look, you know what? Yeah, that I have said mad stuff over the years on this channel, and I get crucified for it every time. I was the number one backer of Hendo not getting a new contract. When the time came, everyone was on it. Everyone was saying, give Hendo a new contract. I was like,
I love Hendo.
I was like, that's a mistake. And look, we've come round and everyone's like, oh, yeah, fair enough. But Jen with the £9.99 super sticker. Jen, thank you so much. You know we love you on this channel.
Chat, we need to know your comment, what your thoughts are as well. Tell them. We need to know your thoughts. Tell us what you think about it. Is it a good signing? Is it a bad signing? 60 million too much? Let us know. And don't forget to like the live. Talk to me.
FJ already knows it. FJ knows it. Just a quick one. I fucking love this kit. It's like my favourite kit ever. Spain away kit. Oh, beautiful. I was looking for
What year was that one?
Sorry?
What year? What was that? The World Cup year? Or...
Yeah, this year or last year, I guess.
Yeah.
It's unreal. I needed a blue kit, but obviously all our rivals are blue, so I was stuck, and I found this beautiful kit. Anyway, well, welcome to everyone joining. Paul, Helio, Jay, everyone else. Again, as FJ said, get your comments in. But one comment I want to bring up, Colin, I'll remove it because it's blocking your face a little bit. 120k a week that Dominik Szoboszlai is going to be earning. Mason Mount is apparently earning 250 to 300k. Somebody who we're heavily linked with, someone who again is going for 60 million. It's a much better deal, this, isn't it? Szoboszlai is younger. Yes, Mount Premier League proven, and he's English, which would go a long way to homegrown. But the wages we're paying compared to United, you've got to look at it as a win, don't you?
Crazy.
We have yet again fleeced United for their pocket change. They're spending that much more on a player that, we'll see how Dom does in the Prem. I'm sure he'll be fine. What I was going to bring up about him is that, Kev touched on and FJ touched on his, he does have a shot. He does have this kind of skill and this like silkiness on the ball. But the thing that sells him to me is the work rate. It's the intensity in defensive effort. So give me 10 of those. I don't care what their skill level is. If you're going to get 10 people who believe that they can really influence the game by their intensity in defensive action,
we need that.
Sign me up. Sign me up right now. I'm thrilled with it. I can't believe that. I can believe it. I can believe that United takes these deals that, We saw their we were talking about this the other beginning of the week, maybe. We saw we've seen their financials. They're in a bad place. And to continue on their end, just to, pay that much more for someone who, marginally better, maybe, but definitely the English tax. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I think it's fantastic.
But to be honest, they got more people to make that money back, to generate that money. They got, if they sell 1, 2, 3, they can. We got really no one to sell, really.
Because none of our players are shit and don't want to leave the club. United are lining up at United. You've got Jadon Sancho, who they bought for what, like 80 million.
I've got a big question for you. I need to know this now, though.
Yeah, go on.
Are we finishing above United next season?
Easily, mate. We're next season, we're getting first or second. I don't want to hear none of this Arsenal nonsense. This was an off season for Arsenal. Yes, they're good. The rest of the league was just not at it.
Do we need to do anything else? Do we need to do anything else to get to the top 2?
Yeah, we need another midfielder and another centre back. But
all right, cool.
I think we've made good strides towards it. Look, the main issue was, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about this later, closer to the window. The main reason we collapsed last year was because Klopp threw a tantrum, didn't get Tchouaméni, and then just didn't bring anyone in to replace him. And we relied on Henderson and James Milner and Thiago, who have, one leg between them.
We relied on Jude.
Exactly. So I think the club, look, it's probably the first smart thing they've done in years. They did it with a centre-back. Everyone saw we needed a centre-back. They didn't sign one. Went out and signed Kabak, who wasn't really all that. So the club are finally listening, which is good. And if they see what the rest of us see, which is looking good, because someone mentioned it before, looks like we are going to be getting a central defender and a centre mid this summer again. But yeah, so look, we've still got weeks to go in the transfer window. Pre-season,
pre-season. We need them in early to get them.
Well, pre-season doesn't start until the 8th, so a week today. We've got 2 players in the door, 2 left to go. I think we like to do business one at a time as well. I don't know what you guys think. I don't think we're really a club that is like, bidding for every player like a United or somebody. So I think now we've got Szoboszlai sorted, we'll be going after Lavia or Thuram or Inacio or whoever else is on the list. A lot of players. From
the reporting, it seems from the reporting, it seems like the Szoboszlai deal came together in about a week.
Well, it was like two days, weren't it? I mean,
I think they made first contact like last Saturday or last Sunday, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and when it got broke by David Ornstein on the 28th, late at night. So, 4 days and a deal's being done. That's how Liverpool do the business, isn't it?
We could get 2 more people in before July
8th. It's not out the question, is it? Like, we could easily agree a deal with Lavia tomorrow.
Yep.
And have him in Liverpool with his medical, on Tuesday, announced on Wednesday.
Yep.
Then go out and get a centre back for the last couple of days. It's not out the window. Be an absolutely crazy week if we do. But yeah, so who knows? But guys, there's 100 people in here. Make sure you are liking the video.
100 what, Charlie? 100 what?
100 viewers, baby.
Oh,
we had like 300 yesterday. It was flying. So the channel's going absolutely crazy, guys.
Every day at what time? 7:30. Every day, 7:30. Don't be late. Make sure you're here at 7:30 every day.
Get them notifications on and make sure you are subscribed, because the videos, the content's going out as well. And on everything else, Insta, TikTok, Twitter. So yeah, make sure you're following on everything. But the next one we are going to talk about, Kev, is a bit of a mad one. This come from Corriere dello Sport in Italy, who maybe aren't the most reliable, but it's a story and they're a newspaper, so it's probably a bullshit one, but I thought we'd discuss it anyway. Napoli, who are selling Kim Min-Jae for, someone correct me, I think it's for like 50 million, maybe a bit more, to Bayern Munich. It looks like they're in the hunt for another centre back. They've actually just had, while I was setting up the stream, they've actually just had a bid declined by Wolves for Max Kilman for 30 million, someone who Liverpool was interested in as well. But this report says that they want Liverpool's Ibrahima Konate. Kev, never happening. We've just signed him for 35 million. He was our best centre-back last season. He's France's main starter in centre-back now. He's only going to get better. And for the 50 million they've got to spend, you probably need to double it to get Konate, wouldn't you?
You'd have to at least treble that, in my view, before you even come to the table to us. There's no chance in the world I'd sell Konate. Absolutely not. He is the mirror of what Van Dijk is. He's 6'4", brute, and he is ours, and you're not getting him. So, you know, you can give us your number 77. You can give us Osimhen as well. And anyone else you want to put into the mix. And then we'll think about it. There's no way in this world do you think that Klopp is going to get rid of potentially a successor in our centre back. No, not a chance in the world. So if you know, it's like me, I want to date with Cameron Diaz, but it's not going to happen. Like, do you know what I mean? So, you know, we can all like someone, but that's as far as it goes.
No, Kev, I love you, man. You said we were going to take Osimhen and the number 77. Wow.
Well, they've got dreams. I've also got dreams as well. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, two can play that game, as Bobby Brown would say. Do you know what I mean? So,
for a club valuing Osimhen at like 200 million, and you want to get Konate for like 50 million, it's just like, what are you thinking?
Doesn't make sense, does it?
Like, Konate is literally, he's one of the best young he's probably one of the best centre backs in the world.
He's probably in the France number one centre back now as well, probably.
It would never happen, would it, FJ? Like,
no way.
As Kev said, I think it'd take at least 120 million maybe to even make us think about selling them.
Who do they think they are? They just won the league. Now they think they come and talk to any. Who do they think they are? Because they won the what? They won the league. No, Konate is not for sale, man. But everyone can try and wish, you know. But yeah, he's all right. He's all right. But Konate, I pray him and Van Dijk have a best partnership this season. We need them. They're vital. So them to come to talk to us about Konate, you're right. We need at least triple of his value, you know. But that's just a little rumor. We'll just brush that aside and just make the third signing, you know. But yeah, that's how it goes. Konate, he's wonderful, man. I love him. We need him. Hopefully, because last season he did do 1-2 mistakes. Hopefully, this season he comes out better and stronger, you know. And yeah. So hopefully, you get me. Well,
yeah. I mean, Colin, you know, he's obviously a bit injury prone, but the talent is there, isn't it? Like, I don't think there's another centre back in world football that has the skills of Konate, probably apart from Virgil van Dijk at his peak. Like, he's so tall, so powerful, he's so demanding in the air, he's unbelievable on the ball. Like,
speed.
He's got everything that a modern day centre back has. And if, you know, the likes of De Ligt are going for 70 million, Upamecano for that, you know, even Gvardiol for 120 million of the talks are, it's like, Liverpool are going to want a high fee. And again, it's never going to happen because you're not going to be able to replace them. So it's probably paper talk, but I thought it was a bit of an interesting one.
It's really, it seems to me like they won the league and they have not quite come down from their high yet. They're still riding, and really, you know, like Kev said, you can want, you know, whatever you know. I want $100 million in my bank account, but you know, doesn't mean you're going to get it. It's absolutely hilarious. Because you're right, and if Chelsea are going to want, you know, 100 for Colwell.
100.
They said they want world record. They said they want world record money.
Wow.
Which is like, if that's not what they would end up settling for. I'm sure they would take less. But yeah, I mean, I think you guys said it. It would be somewhere between like 2.5 and 3 times what
And
we
he's
paid.
one of the best 1v1 defenders. And Liverpool, the way we play aggressive. So we mainly leave the back 2 1v1s.
Yeah.
So Van Dijk, I love Van Dijk. I trust Van Dijk to have a 1v1 with any striker. Any striker in the league. Van Dijk with a 1v1, I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Haaland 1v1. I'm not scared of, who else is there? Gabriel 1v1. 1v1 in anyone in this whole world, I'm not scared of with Van Dijk. Konate, he's literally the spitting image. He's probably strong, far, do the same thing. But hopefully, you were gonna say again?
When we started playing that 3 at the back and Trent started going to midfield and sort of man marking more, when he would mark someone to come up into the midfield, how many times did we see him, especially towards maybe the last 10 games of the season, intercepting the ball as his wide mark is checking back into the center? I mean, it was constant. He was turning the ball over left and right.
For me as well, it was just it's the amount of how quickly and how much space he can make up just by running to cover it or to cover that right-handed side. And it's only when you see it live that you go, wow, he is phenomenal. Someone as fast and as big as what he is, to be able to run and cut down that space so well, you can see why we reverted to that 3 at the back. And it's the kind of cover that you tend to need, but you'd also need to have a little bit more in midfield as well, to just as a backup for him as well, because he's a beast. And you only have to look at that Arsenal game and that tackle he went through on Xhaka. That just honestly that just sums up what Ibu's about. He is a machine.
What's his weakness?
Injuries.
Yeah.
I think as well, he's probably a bit rash. He's very eager, which again, it's probably, it's harsh to look at it as a weakness because he's still so young and, he's playing at a top level already.
23?
Yeah, like 23, 24. So, it's good that he's eager, but sometimes it does backfire. But again, it's not a massive deal. Like, I think someone mentioned he's probably had, a couple of mistakes this season. But it happens. Like, he's a young defender. He's learning on the spot. So, but I've got a question that I'll pose to everybody. Get 80 mil for Konate and go after Gvardiol. Would you do that?
No.
Why?
So Gvardiol would be great as that left-footed or, that left side in 3. But we take Konate out, then who's Joe Gomez going to play that right side against their left winger, in one-on-ones. We've seen how that goes.
Yeah, I mean,
go on.
Go on.
Honestly, who's better at them two? Who is better at them two?
Did Konate hold 7 against Man City? No, there's your answer. Basically, everyone's saying no.
Konate. I'm not selling Konate. No way. Guardiola's good, but I'm not selling Konate. No way.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, what are your thoughts on it? I think everyone kind of admits that Gvardiol would be a great centre-back to have at the club. Maybe not for 120 million euros, which is what's being quoted. But I don't know. I think if Konate can get his injuries out, I think there's a higher ceiling for Konate personally.
Oh yeah, there is, but I tend to agree with what Cole said. Is the fact that you bring a quality player in and you lose something else on the right hand side, and that's the biggest problem. We haven't got enough. There's not enough in backup that you could actually turn around and say, yeah, that's worthwhile doing, because we've got Matip, who is injury prone but hasn't had his best season. You've got Gomez, which is, unfortunately, he's had so many serious injuries. How much has that affected him? And now he's gone from being the best centre back next to Virgil van Dijk when we won the league to now being dropped, and we're looking for a place for him as at right back to even try and get him in the game. So it's hard to say why it doesn't make sense, because you, as I just said, you lose the balance on the right hand side if you're bringing that in, and you're building up on the left hand side. There has to be an equilibrium and a balance to that. So I wouldn't be paying the 80 million for them. What I would be doing, I'd be putting that money towards a Bastoni, who is Charlie's
I
all
got
time.
I got everyone on the Bastoni train.
You did. And I can see why. I saw the last couple of games that Inter Milan played, and he is a quality player.
Italian defender, like proper. Yeah, you can tell.
Exactly. You know what I mean? He's out of that Chileni and the Baresi school of centre backs. You know what I mean? It's but again though, it's will he come on and will he cost as much as what Garfield is getting rated at? Because that's the other thing that happens here is that it's the money that needs to be spent on these players, and I'm not selling our future in centre back to bring one in and weakness on the left and right hand side. So it's a note for me for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen like over the years how big centre backs are now. They're almost like attacking midfielder prices or even attacking prices now, because people have realised how important a good ball playing centre back is. Because look, a lot of top teams play in a similar way. When you break down the fundamentals, most of them play out from the back with a centre back. It's very passing orientated, direct, long balls over the top. We went out and we signed Virgil van Dijk for 75 million. Everyone laughed at it, and now everyone's doing it. City are about to spend 120 mil on a centre back. United tried to do it with Harry Maguire, then tried to do it again with Varane.
Martinez as well.
Yeah, De Ligt to Juventus and then to Bayern Munich. Like this,
Chelsea. That was crazy.
Exactly. Look, there's so many thingios now, and whether we like it or not, we are going to have to probably spend at least 70 or 80 million when we need to replace Virgil van Dijk, because we can't go out like we did with Lovren and Sacco and try and sign a centre-back who might be the next best thing. We need to go out and sign the next best thing, like proven, or the best thing. So, but went a bit off there. Bella Kotchup's a good one. I think he'd be a good option for this summer, maybe not to replace Van Dijk, again, bit of a risk. But yeah, so it's an interesting one. I'm sure we'll be talking about it a lot during the season and next summer. But guys, if you are watching the stream, make sure you do leave a like on the stream. Also, subscribe to the channel with the notifications on. Get your comments in. We're going to be bringing them up. If you've got any questions, we'll get them answered towards the end of the stream. 2 more topics to touch on. Next one, Caoimhin Kelleher. He was linked with a move away early in the summer. Now, not so much. Another report from Jimbo Pierce has come out saying that he wants to leave to find regular game time. Kev, it's a bit of a strange one, because I don't think anyone wants Kelleher to leave, but I don't think we would really. I don't think it's the end of the world if he leaves, and we'd probably get 15 to 20 million for him, which would be nice. I don't know about you, but I kind of think I just don't think he's going to be good enough for Liverpool. And also, we've got Alisson probably for the next 6 years, maybe more. So it's a tough one, isn't it?
It is. It's a win-win for us. If he stays, happy days. You got a great backup. If he goes, you're getting money for him. I think he does need to go. I think for his age, he needs to be playing, and he needs to be showing what his talents are, and not be looked at as the goalkeeper in the Southampton game that let him fall with 4 shots straight at him. So you know what I mean. There's more of a player in him for me. And it has to be the right club for him to move on. He's a great. I'm surprised that there's not been much attention to him, because I think he's a quality goalkeeper. He's better than Danny Ward. Do you know what I mean?
Homegrown as well.
Exactly.
Leicester are looking at James Trafford, who's England's under 21 keeper at the moment, who's Man City's under 21 keeper as well. I think he was on loan at a League 2 side last season. Oh, he's on loan to Bolton, I think. I think he got player of the month with Conor Bradley. I think it was the tie.
Yeah.
But Man City will probably get 20 million for him because he's homegrown.
Exactly.
I don't understand how other clubs are out there, like you've said. Look at how many teams need a goalkeeper, and he's a homegrown goalkeeper. I was thinking, look, we could get 30 million for him if we really wanted to.
Easily, and you look how much of a forward, how calm he is on the ball. His distribution is unbelievable for the goalkeeper, and that alone should be worth at least 15, 20 million on its own. You can take a penalty as well if you want him to take a penalty. You know what I mean? So he ticks all the boxes. I am very surprised that not many people have actually taken up the opportunity. And you look at the games he's played in. Kept us in the game in the League Cup final. Do you know what I mean? So he is a player, but I totally agree with what you've said, Charlie. There's no way he's replacing Alisson, and his time will be limited at the very most to. Depending, well, for me, would be League Cup, FA Cup, and some of the Europa League games.
Group
for me.
Stages, probably.
Yeah,
that's it. Like quarters.
Exactly, but then he could get enough games to move in January.
Yeah, you look at that. That's potentially
exactly
because look at that. That's potentially 20 games.
Exactly,
which is nothing to sniff at.
No, it's not.
So,
and it gives people the opportunity to come in. Do you know what I mean? And see his talents. But for me, I'm surprised no one's making a move for him, to be honest. But I'm quite happy either way, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, FJ, some people are here, mentioning here, likes of Tottenham, who've just signed somebody, but signed a second backup keeper. Brentford, David Raya is going to be going. Even Leicester. There's so many clubs out there that you look, and Kelleher would probably improve it. He's great on the ball. He's a good shot stopper. Maybe don't watch the Southampton game, but he's always performed for us when we've needed it. It's crazy that more clubs aren't interested in him, because I think he's a Premier League standard keeper.
Yeah, I actually think so as well, but I don't know what it is. I like him. He's he takes a lot of risks on the ball. He's a good shot stopper, you say. He looks nice on the ball. But why don't they want him? I don't really know. But he's our backup keeper, really and truly. But if I had a choice to keep him or sell him, I think I'll sell him. You might just generate as much money as you possibly can. Did Adrian sign a new contract? Adrian signed a new short-term deal? Mm-hmm. So I guess I understand how it goes, but yeah, me personally, I'll let him go. But I like Kelleher. Kelleher's done a lot for Kelleher. Yeah, he did a lot for us. I like him.
Yeah, I mean, Colin as well. You kind of look at the academy at the moment, and we have a lot of good young goalkeepers. We've got Harvey Davis, and we've got Peter Lagwer as well, the one who we brought over when he was 15. I'm kind of in the boat that I think either of them could replace Kelleher and do an okay job for the games that he's going to play. I'm not too fussed if we sell him or keep him. It'd be nice to keep him. But I feel like if you get more than 20 million for him, it's hard to turn down, because he's never going to get a game. He wants out. He's never going to get a Premier League game unless Alisson's injured. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Would you sell him if, a right price, and then, maybe rely on Harvey Davis or Peter Lagwer? It's a tough one with Kelleher, because I think fans like him, but he wants to leave, and I think he's 24 at the moment, so he's not young either. Maybe for a goalkeeper, but he's gonna be wanting regular game time, isn't he? And as well, for Ireland, Bazuna is getting regular Premier League minutes, even though he was the worst keeper in the league last year. So it's a tough one, isn't it?
I don't understand. I was taken aback by, and Jen put this in the comments, that Klopp said it was right at the end of last season that he's not going to go. Yeah. And that it would take a really big offer. And that struck me as like very strange to be like that sort of hard lined on someone who, from all accounts that we had seen, like looked like he wanted to go. And in fairness, like I would want to go too. Like he's too good to be our backup. I think a lot of bottom half sides that would upgrade their goalkeeper position. It just struck me as weird that like he was one who you could definitely see, like you said, anything like 15 to 20, like that's good business. He's young,
Is anyone gonna
young for a goalkeeper.
offer 20 million for him though? Like,
Why not? He's homegrown.
Yeah.
He's got minimum 20 years left. 10 years, not 20. If he went 20, but players in general are going longer. Look at Messi, look at Ronaldo. Goalkeepers already went longer anyway.
Yeah.
It is not out of question that a goalkeeper could be playing until 40s.
Gigi Buffon played to like 42.
Exactly, at a top level.
Yeah.
So
it was really good.
So, it's not out of question with science, with everything that, in the next 10 years, players are playing to regularly, 36 is the retirement age instead of, maybe 33, 34. So it's, but yeah, I think there's a lot of Premier. I don't know why Leicester didn't sign him last season. I thought it was a perfect opportunity.
I wonder if it's just one of those things that is like kind of waiting for a couple dominoes to fall. If David Raya goes from Brentford, I can't imagine that they wouldn't be interested in Kelleher, especially the way that they play in possession. Like I can't believe that they wouldn't be in for him for 15.
You look at Forest as well. Forest need a keeper now because they're not keeping Henderson and they're not keeping Keylor Navas. Another team who I think would be good. Even if they did drop in, them teams are probably, they always have an eye on the Championship. They're going to need a keeper that, one, will be happy in the Championship challenging, and two, will be a good enough Premier League keeper. There's so many clubs that he fits that I just, it's just crazy to me that no one is signing him, but maybe someone comes in. But as you said, I think you're waiting for dominoes to fall. I genuinely think if David Raya does leave, I think Brentford will go in for him. As you said, I think he fits their style of play well. So it's but yeah, I mean, might not happen. Wouldn't be bothered if he stayed. Wouldn't be bothered if he left.
Yeah,
it's money either way.
Just can't believe that for his own career that he wouldn't be like, hey, like get me to somewhere else.
Even a loan. I mean, what do you guys think on a loan potentially? I think he signed a deal not too long ago. So, I mean, a loan to like a Leicester or somebody with a buy option, I think that would be a good option. Not sure what anyone else's for. So.
He's someone that's happy to play that role. I don't think he's happy to play that role. He's not happy to play that number 2 role. So, like, if he's not happy or if he's questioning, we have to get the most value we can get. If you send him on loan 1 year, his value's gone down, But we need someone that, I'm going to play these amount of games this season. I got Europa, I got this, I got cup games. They need to be accepting it that I'm going to play these games and I know that Alisson's number 1. And I'm going to be ready just in case Alisson gets injured, like a freak injury or something, But he's not happy with it. Get as much maximum amount of, money you can get from him, to be honest. But because he is a good keeper. He's a good keeper. So I think that if we can offload him, not offload him like that, but if we can get the maximum money you can get from him, then that's the best thing, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Completely agree. But we are going to move on to the Romeo Lavia chat. Before that, though, welcome to everybody new who's coming in. Ras, Basra, James. I've seen you in the chat a little bit. Zolly Best. Everyone, welcome. Make sure you are liking the video. Also, subscribe if you are new to the channel with the notifications on. But big news. Literally as soon as we announced Dominik Szoboszlai, Fabrizio Romano and a couple of other journalists within like 10 minutes were like, Liverpool are now in talks with Romeo Lavia's agents in Southampton for a potential move. And the GOAT Liverpool journalist, Indy Callier, also said Liverpool had a £30 million bid rejected. Take that with a pinch of salt, or take it with if you want to believe it. But Kev, it seems like we are interested in him. Him and Thuram have been the ones who, the talk has been around. There's a lot of people who I think would rather Thuram. I can go up with James there saying, you would prefer Thuram. Lavia, Premier League proven, under 21, so doesn't need to go on homegrown or non-homegrown, but he will be homegrown by the time he turns 21. Started a full Premier League season. They're asking around 50 million, I think, but probably would take 40 considering they're in the relegation. They're in the Championship now. Do you see this deal being done?
I do, because then you got a 10, an 8, and a 6 that have been replaced. It then limits the amount of time that Hendo plays, and he goes into the Milner kind of role of coming on for the last 10 minutes in certain games and showing the leadership that's required in those 10 minutes to get through. It limits that time. It provides a perfect replacement for Fabinho as and when he leaves. And you've got two young players in Lavia and Basic who could dominate the number 6 role and dominate our midfield. It makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if we also get Thuram as well, and that would be a hell of a statement if we do that. We've already done the attacking side because we brought in McAllister and Szoboszlai, 22 goals, 15 assists. So we've replaced the likes of Keita, the likes of Ox, who haven't been able to score, Milner as well, and we've replaced them with goals and assists already. That's that side done. It's now on the defensive side. Get Lavia in. He's a young, versatile 19-year-old, played 29 games last season. Yet he went down, but yeah, I'm all over it. It makes sense. It gives you the three. It's as though we've surgically went in and removed the 10, the 8, and the 6 out of our team and replaced them with better players and upgraded them straight away. So surgically, it makes sense. And then, as a bonus, you bring Thuram in as well. And there's your upgrade for the midfield for the next 6, 7, 8 years. Quality.
Yeah, FJ, you look at the ages of the players we've brought in. McAllister, 24, Szoboszlai, 22, linked with Lavia, 19, linked with Thuram, 22. As Kev said there, that's, 6, 8 years that, that'll be 4 players who would be rotating around. We've got Bajcetic there, who's 18, 19. I'm trying to think who else. Head's gone blank, but
Harvey Elliott as well. Do you know what I mean?
Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones.
Exactly.
If all of them live up to their potential, we have 6 midfielders who every single one of them can play multiple positions in that midfield. Yes, it would. And as well, my thought on this is Lavia is only going to be available this summer. And Thuram, if you let him stay at Nice, his price could easily double. He wants to move now. I think you go out there, you spend the 80 million, you take the hit next season because you probably would have had to buy another centre mid next season. And that gives time for them to bed in. If they are struggling, if 1 or 2 of them are struggling, then that's fine. Sit on the sidelines for a bit, watch the game. But if you had to choose one this summer, FJ, are you choosing Thuram or Lavia?
Ooh, wow. Honestly, I'll pick Lavia. Because I've watched more of Lavia, and he's a great player. He is a nice player, and he probably understands and got the feel of the Premier League already. So he's like, we've got a creator, we've got a box to box in. Then now he's just going to destroy in the play. He's going to be the little aggressive guy destroying the plays, reading the game plan. So he'll be a great replacement for Fabinho, So I think Lavia will be the better signing. I don't know if we'll go for 2 centre mids. Because I'm sure we have to go for a defender. But if we do go for 2 centre mids and a defender, wow, what a summer window. But me personally, I'll pick Lavia. But first of all, we need to wait. And this is my first time of me being able to look at the comments. I've never seen the comments before. People are talking about Hendo. What are they talking about Hendo? Hendo's done his job now, lads. Now we have to move on. Now we're bringing in the new. So hopefully next season, Hendo can talk to them, chill them, make them learn and it work out. But anyway, as you said, I'll pick Lavia over Thuram.
Yeah, definitely. Colin, it's, if we look at that Thuram and Lavia thing, we have 1 homegrown spot left. 1 non-homegrown spot left. Let's say we do bring in Thuram and Lavia. that means the centre-back either has to be homegrown or we sell somebody, which it's probably going to be either Matip or Thiago. They're kind of the only two really non-homegrown players since we've given Adrian a contract. Do you think it's worth buying both of them now? And I feel like Thuram is probably the most. That's the one we've been linked with the most. There was rumours that personal terms have been agreed, and after the Under-21 World Cup, I feel like Lavia is a luxury, but it's a luxury that we could do with because we would need him next year since Fabinho is running on borrowed time.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the point, which is that we're gonna need another one next year, and to be able to get him in for the price that I think the Southampton probably would settle for. There was a rumor that we bid like 30, just above 30 million pounds. I think you can close that deal for between 36 and 38 with maybe 4 in add-ons. And for that price, to be able to really curate and like limit the amount of time that those young midfielders have to play, and to be able to kind of spread that workload around around the entirety of the midfield, I think is so important. We were talking about, we mentioned Henderson, and I think part of the reason that he really, really struggled was his workload is so high. And they mentioned as well with Bajcetic's injury, that his workload was too high for an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old. If you're able to get Thuram and Lavia both in, it allows you to rotate in a way that really makes sure that they're getting experience still, but it doesn't overload them. And by the time that then they are needed, you don't have to worry about overworking them because they've been ramped up for a year, and been able to get more experience in playing time without it having to affect their overall. So, and listen, if we end up with a third, that's what the majority of us were asking for. I will be very happy.
What, third midfielder or third?
Yeah, a third midfielder.
Because I feel like we can't get to, if we get so many midfielders in one goal, it's gonna change the dynamic of everything. It's like putting everyone together.
Make us better.
You think?
We never replaced Wijnaldum. We've lost 3 midfielders this summer.
We're set to lose 2 next.
Hendo's gone as well. Yeah. Thiago is going to go. Like, I would rather bring.
We don't replace. You don't think we replace Gigi?
No, we never. And listen, I didn't like Wijnaldum. I was happy he left, but he was an extra man who ran and never got injured. We never replaced him. Yeah. Like, it's as simple as that. And if we can get somebody in who doesn't have the look, we saw it with Fabinho. Fabinho coming in the first 6 months was non-existent. Yeah. If we can let somebody come in and kind of be on the back for 6 months, learn exactly how Klopp wants to play him. We saw once Fabinho hit his stride, he was a monster. He was at one point probably the best centre defender in the world, and he didn't have a clue what was going on the first 6 months. So if we can bring a Lavia in, say, look, mate, here's how you're going to play. We're going to sit here on it. We're going to train you for 6 months. You don't have any pressure on you. I might bring you in for a game here and there. You don't have any pressure on you. Why not bring someone in? If we can do it now, I'd rather do it now than wait for next year or the year after. And then, who am I bringing in? I'm bringing both in, but over it, I would rather Thuram.
Oh, Thuram, yeah.
I don't think there's many players like him in world football, and I genuinely think whoever gets him will be getting Patrick Vieira regen.
Thuram's amazing, but it's just and the Prem experience added together. It's like, but Thuram he on the ball and physically off the ball, he's amazing.
Yeah, look, I want both of them, but I just think right at this moment, I think we need to get the third centre mid in. for me, Thuram is Lavia is a luxury that I think would be great next season or the season after, and I would like to bring him in because I think now is the only time you're going to get him. But I think I just don't think.
How bad
Sorry?
is Thuram? Because Thuram just came off.
That's Kone.
Kone. No, Thuram.
Yeah.
He played for France.
No.
He for France.
Kone.
He played his first 2 games for France
There's Kone. He's out the squad now. Thuram's fine.
Mhm.
So I would prefer Thuram. You don't get many 6'4". He's dense as well. Like he's not a tall. He's not a Thomas Souček 6'4".
Little unit there.
He is a tank. If you watch a highlight, he stands out like a sore thumb. He is massive, and I think that is perfect for the Premier League. You know, we saw it with Vieira when he come in. You know, the world was like, "Who are you?" Like we're used to your Roy Keanes from the pub.
It's like a Yaya Toure. He is
Honestly.
just an absolute. People bounce off him, and I agree with Charlie. I would like both of them because it gives you the solidity then to, with the amount of games we've got. You look at this Europa League. I'll be honest, none of us want to be in the Europa League. None of us do. But we've got 3 options of getting to Champions League football through our own will and doing it in the 38 games. We go as the highest coefficient, or we do it through the Europa. We don't want to play that. Now, if you look at our games from September to January, we're playing about 8-9 games every week, every month, leading into January. I would like to have the likes of the opportunity of having Thuram and Lavia there and provide us with the selection and provide us with enough solidity in there to allow us to cope, because that's what will let us down when we were going for all 4. We never had that. We never had that kind of balance of being able to go strong and go deep. We will be able to if you bring those 2 in. I agree. You know, it may only be one or the other, but I'll be honest. Unbelievable to have a 6'4", 2 6'4" centre backs and a 6'4" in midfield. Oh my God, that is like, you know, it's like the Berlin Wall. You're not getting past that at all. Do you know what I mean?
So and a 6'1" in
yeah,
Szoboszlai.
exactly. And everyone's 30 over 6 foot. In the, you know, even Szoboszlai is over 6 foot. You know what I mean? So
6'1".
you know, it gives you that opportunity. It gives you that physicality, which we missed a lot last season, and I've missed for the last couple of seasons for me.
Again, the point that sticks out to me about Lavia is that, and you're right, Premier League proven, he gets a whole season. He is still 19. He's 19 years old. Him and Steph Bajcetic were both born in 2004. Like they are children.
Make me feel old now, Colin.
They were born in 2004. Like that, I don't think we can we can't get ahead of, if we just get him. You know, if we just get in Lavia as well, he's a player, and you know he is going to be and his continued growth under Klopp. I'm convinced of. But you know, like we're talking about an 18 and a 19-year-old being like, you know, is the future of our number 6 position as of next year. So might as well give them the time to to build it, to make sure that they're both able to handle that sort of workload rather than just hoping that we can find someone next year that is able to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're maybe Thuram is for some people the choice we go with now. Rosie said, oh no, not Rosie, Oliver, there we go. It's a no-brainer. Can't believe it's even debate. And Belgium, Thuram 100%. Caroline says we need a DM. So in that case, you know, probably get Lavia. So it's a good debate, to be fair. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But over 200 people in here, guys. Make sure you do leave a like on the stream. Also, subscribe. I know for a fact some of you aren't subscribed, so get subscribing. If you don't have a YouTube account, make a YouTube account and subscribe right now with the notifications on. Also, get your comments in. We spend the last 5-10 minutes just talking on other transfers that have happened this week. I will open this just as a free-for-all question. So just anyone jump in and someone please jump in with not the awkward silence. But Paul Joyce has just confirmed that Manchester City are on the verge of signing Josico. How do you say his first name? Josico Gvardiol. Josico, him
Josco.
anyway. Josco Gvardiol for £86 million up front. Leipzig won all the money in one, plus like 20 million in add-ons. I think it comes to 120 million euros. Absolutely crazy. Most expensive centre-back in world football. Leipzig making an absolute killing this summer. Christopher Nkunku for 60 million up front. Dominik Szoboszlai for 70 million up front. Gvardiol for 100 million up front. You know, it's bananas, but you know, it's another thing. Man City aren't messing around, are they?
They're not, but I'll tell you what I can see now. I can see Bernardo Silva going for something like 85 million to a Saudi Arabian side to make up that fund that they've had. So it'll cost them virtually not enough front, I think. So it doesn't make sense. That takes their spending on centre backs and defenders to what? Near 700, 800 million. It says a lot to try and find the next Virgil van Dijk that they missed out on. Just on the comments on Deco before we move on, I got my top off Terrace Ultra. He does speak spoke ones and unfortunately doesn't do these anymore. But if you give him a follow, he does some nice t-shirts. So just thought to get that in. Sorry.
I don't know what it is, but Colin FJ thought on Gvardiol to City. You know, it's another left-centre centre-back, which they're kind of overloaded in at the moment. Laporte, Ruben Diaz, now Gvardiol. You know, it's well, Gvardiol and Diaz partnership next season. It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Do they still have Ake as well?
Yeah, but he plays left back. They got a Kanji as well, who's balling out this season. You know, it's
we've got like mental. 5 people who could slot into left center back if needed. Cool. I mean, whatever. They're going to spend their freaking money.
We just
in whatever way this. I think the funniest and most interesting part of the transfer to me is that Leipzig are, listen, they're willing to do business, but they will do business the way that they want to do business, and they'll sell you their player, but we're not budging unless you're paying the cash right now.
Yeah, literally. I think this summer's transfer window is literally a battle between everyone. Arsenal are going for it. Liverpool know that we have to keep on going for it. We can't tip it all. Like, we can't shake, and we have to get all these players that we need. All these other teams are doing it, so we have to carry on, keep on going. Chelsea are signing players, Arsenal signing players. United hasn't started yet, but I don't know what United are doing. But we need to sign our players, get these players in early, very, very early. Then we keep on going. But
FJ, question for you. Who's had the better 2 transfers in so far? Liverpool with McAllister and Szoboszlai, or Arsenal with Havertz and Rice?
I was gonna go on to this because Arsenal.
Sorry,
no, it's fine. I'll just expand on the question to FJ. But obviously, you know, Kai Havertz, 65 million, 300 grand a week. Declan Rice, 105 million. Yeah, I think it's 250 grand a week, and obviously the close to signing. Yeah, and I think the close to signing Timber for around 50 million as well.
Arsenal are not playing.
65 million on Kai Havertz.
100 million on Rice.
Which I kind of understand because he's English type, he's okay, he's young. Havertz, man, like were they watching the same 3 seasons? Or did they just tune into the Champions League final?
You have it's a bill because before he got Chelsea, he was playing off the striker. Then their striker got injured. Then Havertz started playing up front for Bayern Leverkusen, and he was doing beautiful. He was doing good for Bayern Leverkusen behind the striker and up front. So Chelsea's made the transfer, but you know how Chelsea play. They play 5 at the back and 1 striker. Like, he's got no but Arsenal might be a different role for him, you know. But 60 million, plus
a raise in wages.
Yeah,
Lasser's the highest earner now. The thing is though, so I think I was having this discussion with Richie maybe in our chat. Kai, Havertz's best position is probably as a 10, which is also Odegaard's best position, and he was probably the best 10 in the league last season. So you either play him as a 9 or a 10. I don't think you can't justify dropping your captain and a number 10. And when Gabriel Jesus played, he was very good. And I also do think they just need a goal scorer up front.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried for Arsenal.
Which Jesus and Havertz both aren't. Havertz can also play on the left wing. You're not dropping Martinelli because he was probably your best player last season. Unless they're planning on dropping Odegaard back, which I think would be stupid, because you're buying Declan Rice and you're probably not letting Partey go as well now, since Juventus kept Rabiot. So, look, it's mental.
Does he play the Grand Xhaka role? And is Darren's locker to do that?
Unless they drop, unless they're going to play a box midfield and really those two advanced midfielders, they both want to be 10s. That would be a way to get, if they're going to play that WM formation, and those two guys can be on either side, Odegaard on his preferred left foot and then Havertz on the other side, and then he would basically be like a second striker to Jesus up front. That's the only way I can think of both of them getting in the team. Because you're right, why? What is he needed for? That his best position is your captain's best position, and now you're paying him more than anybody else.
But wait, talking about up front and comments, I want to see everyone's comments. Who is Liverpool's? Who are you lot starting up front? Who are you lot? Charlie, start first. Who's your striker?
What, for Liverpool?
Liverpool.
Let's do front three for the Chelsea game.
Oh yeah,
so off front three for the Chelsea game. At the moment, I would probably go Diaz, Salah, Gakpo.
Okay.
But saying that, I do think Darwin Núñez is going to thrive with Szoboszlai, and I wouldn't mind at times seeing a kind of 4-2-3-1 or a 4-2-2-4 or whatever, or 4-2-4, whatever the mad formation is. I think with Szoboszlai, with Szoboszlai and McAllister, we're going to have players who will cater to Darwin Núñez, and it won't just be aimless balls into the box from Henderson. You look at that right side, it is mad now. Trent, Salah, Szoboszlai, that's dangerous. But for the starting game, after Gakpo is undroppable in my opinion, and I think Diaz and Salah are just at our best wingers.
I'm gonna ask everyone after this. I've got something to say after. Go on, Kevin. Go on, Kev. Who do you feel like? Who's your front three?
Mine would be the same. Sorry, it would be Salah, it would be Gakpo, and it would be Diaz.
Okay, go on, Colin.
My initial thought was going to be the same as both Charlie and Kev. And if we are playing just a standard 3, then that's the 3. I wonder if we won't do something like put both Núñez and Gakpo maybe playing off of him, or in more like 4-2-3-1, and then Trent can slide in and it can be like diamond midfield with Gakpo at the point with then Diaz, Núñez, and Salah. I wonder.
But do you guys think we get the most goals with that front three?
It depends, because what Darwin Núñez is going to turn up, we can't see into the future. I think if we're scoring goals, if goals is our aim, I think you probably start Núñez. But
wait, someone in the comments said one name. Someone in the comments said
Jota.
one name. Thank you.
Yeah,
there you go.
See, after Salah, Jota is our goal getter, and we
off the bench.
Oh wait, guys. Jota is the only player after Salah that can probably get 20 goals.
I think that's unfair on Nunes.
You think?
How many goals did he score this season? 14.
15
15 goals in his first season. I remember we had a discussion in our chat. I don't know if you remember it, Kev. When Nunes first joined, a lot of people said, "What would you be happy with?"
Yeah.
And I think I said 15, and I think somebody said that's too many. I'd be happy with 10.
Yeah.
You know, we all knew. I kind of think that maybe people were a bit disappointed with how many chances he missed, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
You know, it probably could have, if he finished the chances, probably could have got 25, 30. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's his first season. He didn't start the second half of the season as well. Come off the bench most of the time. 15 goals in your first season. You know, you can't bat your eye at that. I mean, look at Richarlison. It was a Premier League staple. Scored 1 goal for Spurs last season.
Charlie, I think you said it before, yeah. Now we've got our new number 8. S8. Now we've got a new number 8. Nunes wouldn't have to come in and try to do the link up play because now we've got attacking creator. So he will be pushing up, and Nunes wouldn't have to be coming in and get the ball to feet and hold the ball up and try and link up the play. That's why I think Gakpo is ahead of Nunes because he's better at that. But honestly, I think Liverpool need goals. Like literally, we actually need goals. And not to put it down on no one, can Diaz get us the 15 plus?
I think Diaz's game's different, though. I don't think I saw a good TikTok before. If you haven't followed us on TikTok, follow us on TikTok. But it basically said Salah, Mane, and Son have messed with our minds for wingers. Because now we expect wingers to get 25 goals a season. Whereas realistically, if a winger gets 10 goals, 10 assists,
I'm happy with that.
That's a great season.
I'm happy.
But people are looking at Salah as the benchmark when they shouldn't, because Salah and even Mane and Son are anomalies. You know, these guys will go down as a top 10 wingers ever in the Premier League. Salah is the best winger that's ever played in the Premier League, and you won't change my mind on it. So, look, if Luis Diaz next season, you've got to remember he missed missed most of the season. So, exactly. So, look, 10 goals, 10 assists. I'm happy with that, anymore. And I think he offers something different. I don't know if, Kev or Colin think this, but he's probably our only winger who is direct. He he attacks players where the rest of them kind of maybe cut in or, pass backwards. But Diaz got electricity in his feet.
There's only one criticism I have of Diaz at the minute, and he needs an end product. And without an end product, I don't think he starts in the starting 11, and he has to improve on that. And that is the only criticism I've got, because of the level that our front three have had over the past years. We've set a level of where they need to be. And he is direct, and I like it, but he needs to back that up with assists. If he gets 15 assists and 5 goals, I'm happy. But he needs to bring an end product to his game. He can't do what he did against Palace and come in, beat 5 and put it in the bottom corner. That's not going to happen every week. He has to find a style of scoring, but also finding a panaz to provide assists to people as well.
Yeah.
It's great what he does off the ball.
I do think we've got to kind of look at it a bit differently, though, because he's not going to be the Raheem Sterling who's going to get in the box and score the tap-ins. He's not going to be the Mohamed Salah who his foot is magic and can, score from any angle. He's got to be the person who is taking on players, running to the byline and cutting it in, or running at players and killing it in the top corner. I think we've got to accept that he's not going to be a Salah winger, but he is something different that we don't have. You look at City, there's a reason why they keep Riyad Mahrez, because he is different from every other winger that they have. He's different from Foden. He's different from Grealish. He was even different from Sterling. You need different players. You can't just have the same players. And, who knows? We saw Mane change roles when he, during Liverpool, when Salah come in, especially. He was very direct his first season, and Salah came in, he was a bit more like Salah. So who knows? Maybe Klopp changes the system, but I'm happy with Diaz. I think he offers something different, and he's always a threat anyway.
It's great what he's provided. And that first season when he came to us in the January and he hit the ground running is the reason why we went on the runs that we did. I'm just saying, personally, I would like to see a little. I agree with you. He has to get to the byline, but getting to the byline and not looking up and just blamelessly putting a ball in is not what I want to see. He's got to be more intelligent with that if he's going to do that. That's all I'm saying. And if he adds that to his game, he goes up another level for me. Do you know what I mean? He's already at a certain level already and gets in our starting 11. He would be phenomenal if he adds that to his game, which I think is in his locker. I just think he needs to have a target set, and that's that's where I'm coming from with that. But
we know the goals are there. He nearly finished top goal scorer in the Portuguese league, and he didn't play half of it. So the goals are there. It's all down to how Klopp wants to use him. If Klopp is happy with it, well, go on.
That's what my point was going to be. I think that he definitely does start. We're talking about, we started with starting lineups. I think he does start because I think, and what I was doing here is drawing on my notepad the formations that I think we could go through. I think he will, because I think that out of possession, I think we'll play almost like a 4-4-2 or like a 4-4-1-1, and that like left side needs like a winger, and I think that he'll give the width and the depth there. I think that's what we'll start the season seeing.
Yeah, I think as well, if we look at the end of last season as a kind of precursor to what we're going to be doing next season, we're going to be overloading the wings a hell of a lot. Trent is going to come into midfield. We're going to play 3 at the back. And that midfield, with McAllister and Szoboszlai, who are very active, very, they can run. You can put a cross in. They're fast. It's going to be different to having Henderson and James Milner there. And as much as I love Curtis Jones, McAllister's just a different level. We're going to have players. Literally, we're going to have 3 players overlapping each other. Defenders aren't going to know what to do. So maybe that suits Diaz more, and maybe he can get more space. We can and create more goals. But it's an interesting discussion, to be fair. We'll probably talk about it closer to the season. But yeah, I think went a little bit over today, but it's a good little chat. Thank you for everybody who stayed. Pretty much had 200 people constantly. So it's absolutely massive. We appreciate all the support on the channel. Comments have been great. Interaction on all the streams. We've got a Benjamin Pavard expert analysis going up tomorrow. Interesting one. Might not sign him, but it's a good one. I've been linked with him. And then we've got recording a podcast with Mo Chatra. Very, very interesting. We've had a podcast with him before. Definitely worth a watch. Always interesting to learn about the finances and stuff of Liverpool. But again, guys, FJ, Kev, Colin, thank you so much for joining. Everybody who come into the chat, thank you for joining as well. Make sure you leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. But I've been Charlie. This has been the LFC.